Hey, how's it going, you guys? This is petplatypus here, and it's time to review a couple more episodes of Yu Yu Hakusho, starting with episode 69, yeah. So this episode was actually really fucking cool. For the technicals, the animation was fine for what they needed, the pacing was actually very good, and the story progression was pretty good too, because the situation that they were stuck in and the game they had to play is now over. So for the basic summary, they still can't say the word hot inside that room, and then there's this really fucking stupid rule where if you even say those three letters, even if they're spaced out, if they're in that order, H-O-T, you're fucked, you're done. And Kuwabara gets fucked over. Then Botan gets fucked over. He has already been fucked over because he was cocky. So now it's Kurama versus this dude. They play a word game, and I gotta give credit to the English dubbing here, because the Japanese alphabet and the English alphabet are completely different, so the way they were able to change it around and change the time for every, I think it was like every 100-something seconds, they lose a letter that they can't say anymore. If they say that letter in a word, they're fucked. And I really like it, because you have to hear them, you know, when they're talking to each other, they have to break their sentences down, and they'll use only specific words. So instead of saying, I can't, like, instead of saying going to the toilet, he says I gotta go to the John, because he can only say those words, or those, letters. So I think that's really cool, and the way Kurama wins is kind of funny, and you don't see the silly face that he makes, but it was comedic, but I thought it worked. You know, it was lighthearted, but I definitely liked the writing here. I thought it was really smart, clever. Give props to Togashi and the animators. And that's really all I have to say. I mean, that's the whole episode. After Kuwabara gets screwed over, I mean, the dude does go to the bathroom. Kurama creates that huge jungle to trick the guy. And, yeah, I thought it was really good. If the other guys have the same kind of thing going on, some clever little gimmick to their powers that's not really like a one-on-one fight, because we got so much fucking fighting in the Dark Tournament. That was like 40 fucking episodes of fighting, so to have an arc that's mostly focused on like mind games and stuff, I think that's really refreshing, really smart too. So probably give this episode around like an 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was a very good episode of Yu Yu Hakusho. And yeah, I guess I'll move on to the next one. Okay, you guys, so episode 70. Damn, that's a lot of fucking episodes. With this episode, it was pretty good. I didn't quite like it as much as the last episode, but I still thought it was a pretty solid episode. I didn't skim through it a second time before starting recording, so if I forget anything, I apologize. But basically, they're with the dude who's by the door, who was holding the key before, which I don't think I mentioned. Kurama got the key from him with like his plant. Well, not really that important now, but you know, I didn't mention that. So they have two keys. They need this guy's approval to move forward. They move forward, and there's 4 staircases. So then they put these weird little patches on in order to... It was kind of funny how it was delivered like a fucking TV commercial with Botan and Kuwabara. That was kind of funny. But what happens is, basically, if it glows... Like, you put it on someone, and it has your name on it, and if you get hurt, it'll tell them that you're getting hurt. I believe that's what it was. And only the person who put it on can remove it. So that's cool. They're all wearing like 3 of them. I love how they keep fucking bashing on Hiei for screaming hot. Not screaming, but just saying hot and getting his soul taken first. I find it really funny that they keep fucking holding that over his fucking short little head. But, yeah. So that happens. They go up the staircases, and it's kind of like a trick thing where the staircases are, well, when Hiei cuts his, it's like mirrors that are like made to look all different, but for Kurama and the others, I don't really know. I guess it was the same basic thing. They get to the top. One of them's an imposter, which I think is really cool. It's a pretty, you know, stereotypical trope, cliche, whatever, for that to happen. But what's interesting about this is you can't just say, you know, what's this person's name or whatever. They have their memories, their spiritual, like, everything. Like, they can even take off the little sticker things, even though it's not actually them. So that was kind of pointless, really, but whatever. Yeah, those things are actually extremely pointless, because they weren't part of how it solved the mystery. They just put little patches on, and they never changed color. Maybe they'll come back later, I don't know. But, yeah, and it turns out to be Kuwabara, which Yusuke has to take almost a blind guess. You know, he figures Hiei and Kurama are too smart for that, and, I don't know, Botan, I guess, why would kidnap someone who doesn't have powers, maybe? I'm not sure, but he figures it out, and then it turns out the mastermind behind all of this is Genkai. At least she's doing something since she's alive. She's basically teaching them that not all enemies are going to be, you know, brute force, you know, fighters. Sometimes you have to use your brain. And I think that's really cool, because it's true. These characters are extremely strong, but you are going to go up against people who have, I guess, territory abilities, she said. So that's cool. It's a new power dynamic being introduced. I'm glad that Genkai is not useless or just kind of there for fights or anything. She's actually still teaching them. And she basically says that someone else is now trying to continue Sakyo's plan of opening a portal and sending in demons and shit. So that's cool. I definitely like this arc so far. I guess this little mini arc is wrapped up, I guess. Not really. I guess this was more like a... maybe like a prologue to the overall arc. And it's a good prologue. It's a good little twist that it wasn't actually, you know, like an actual villain or anything. It was just Genkai. I think that's kind of cool. You know, they all went to Genkai because they got these powers, and it makes sense. So, as far as story progression goes, we've got like a prologue and a setup for what the villain wants to do. So I like that, but of course there's still more to learn. This whole situation's now wrapped up, so that's good progression there. The animation, again, good for what was needed. You know, not done a ton of action or anything. And it was paced fairly well. So I'd probably give this episode like a 7.5 to an 8. You know, like a good to very good episode. Yeah, about there. Probably like between. Like a good plus, not quite very good episode of Yu Yu Hakusho. I still don't know about Genkai coming back to life, but at least she's doing something. Hopefully there's still more of her to come to justify her being brought back. So anyways, thanks for watching this video. Tell me what you guys thought of these episodes of Yu Yu Hakusho in the comments below. Follow me on Instagram, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.